one of the last things I want to talk to you about, we've kept this positive, but there are some, obviously, when you're in the music industry, there is some negative. And I want to talk about holds. And man, as a songwriter, holds is such a hit or miss thing. It can be a really good thing where, oh, an artist is holding this song, but then, it can be a really bad thing too because they'll hold that song literally forever if you let them.
Right.
I
Right.
would love to hear from your perspective how you feel about holds because I know the answer to this question from reading your book. Just the pros and cons of the hold system, and if there was anything you would change, what would it be on that system?
Well, obviously, when someone calls you and they're a name artist and they say, "Hey, we love this song. We want to put a hold on it because we're not recording for a couple of months." It's exciting. And you go, "Wow, I got a hold." But after a while and after you've done this for a while, you realize that a hold and 50 cents ain't going to buy you a cup of coffee.
Right.
And so the downside to a hold is that if they hold it too long, they can get tired of it, and I've had that happen. I like it when they call me and say, "Hey, we're going in the studio tomorrow to cut your song." You know, a hold is a hold doesn't really mean too much anymore in this business. Maybe it used to, and I'm not saying I didn't get excited when I'd get a call saying someone was going to holding my song and it was in the hunt to be on the album. I would say 75% of the time it did not make the album,
Yeah.
um, or it didn't, or it never got cut because other songs come in at the last minute that they're more excited about
I mean,
because they're
essentially,
just
it's a partial victory, right? It's just part of the.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's and the second part of your question is I've always felt like you should pay for a hold.
I agree.
Um, if it's a record company or if it's an artist, if an artist calls me and says I want to hold your song and it's for longer than a period of a couple of weeks, then give me an advance on the hold.
Yeah.
If you love the song that much,
And it's
that
essentially a handshake thing, too, right? Like, there's no contractual agreement or
nothing.
anything.
No, no, nothing. And I just lost one that was on hold for over a year and a half
Yeah.
for a very, very big artist. And this is going to be the greatest thing. This is going to be the greatest thing. This is going, and then they finally get in the studio, and what happened? Oh, he got tired of it. It wasn't quite right. The
Yeah.
direction changed. So, and I hadn't played that song for anybody for a year and a half. So, essentially, it's a new song, but
So you
but
have
you
to
got to
be, you really have to be prepared to play the bad guy too, right? In order to get your song back from those folks, right? Like, I'm gonna
no
have
if
to.
they don't record it, there's like you said, there's no contractual. If they put it on hold, they're asking you basically, hey, don't show this to anybody else because I want to have first shot at it. But then if they don't do it, you've wasted 6 weeks or 2 months or however long it was
Well,
that you couldn't show it to anybody else.
and you had a huge hit from you were talking about in your book that was on hold for a really long time, and they wanted you to give them another year.
Yeah,
And
hypnotize the moon.
yeah,
Clay
Clay
Walker.
Walker. Yeah, and you pulled that back. I'm not going
Yeah,
to say the original artist, but the
right.
artist that ended up cutting it was Clay Walker. Huge hit. I don't. I think
Yeah,
it went number one.
yeah, it was
Um,
number one.
yeah, and I mean, if you don't pull that song back, who knows if it's ever heard, right?
Yeah, they the album came out. They told me, oh yeah, there's going to be the first or second single off the album. The album came out. I get a copy of the album. I'm going up and down 50 times. I'm going, what's wrong with me? Are my eyes gone? Where is my songs? So I called the producer up. I said, hey, what happened to my song? You told me, oh, we ended up we're going to hold it for the next album. I said, I said, no, you're not. And
Mm-hmm.
I pitched it to Clay, and we had a big number one.
Well, I have a bunch of notes here. I know our time has kind of come to an end. I would love to talk to you again in the
Hmm.
future because
Sure.
I have so much stuff still to ask. You're such an interesting guy and so much perspective in so many different veins of the music business. I do have a fan question here that I'm going to ask.
Sure.
And this is kind of an open ended question. It comes from John Moore, who's a friend of mine from East Texas. He wants to know, how do you keep finding inspiration to keep writing songs?
Uh, Boy, I wish I knew the answer to that. I always say I write what I know, so I'm inspired by things that I hear or things that I see or things that I experience. So as long as I'm alive and I'm being inspired, I guess that's the inspiration for coming up with new ideas and new melodies and new song ideas.
And sometimes the inspiration is a phone call at midnight, right?
Sometimes, yeah.